What if the secret to transforming your life wasn't found in doing more, but in waking up earlier? The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma invites us into a powerful idea that the way you start your morning determines the quality of your entire life. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and endless demands on our time, this book reminds us that our greatest advantage is control over our first hour of the day. By waking up at 5 a.m. before the world begins to pull at your attention, you reclaim time for clarity, focus, and intentional growth. This isn't about sacrificing sleep or forcing productivity. It's about designing a life where you lead instead of react. Through inspiring stories and practical wisdom, Robin Sharma shows how early mornings can become a sacred space for self-mastery. It's a time to strengthen your mindset, sharpen your focus, and invest in habits that quietly but powerfully compound over time. The 5 a.m. Club is ultimately about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about rising with purpose, training your mind for excellence, and building a life filled with energy, meaning, and impact. Whether your goal is personal growth, professional success, or inner peace, this book offers a roadmap to elevate your life, starting tomorrow morning. And if you're someone who believes that learning, reflection, and growth can change everything, you're in the right place. Join us on Wiser Reads, where ideas become habits and knowledge turns to transformation. Subscribe and walk this journey of wisdom with us, because your future self will thank you for starting today. The power of waking up before the world. Waking up before the world does is not about chasing productivity for its own sake. It is about reclaiming control over your life. In The Power of Waking Up Before the World, the early morning hours are presented as a rare and valuable window of silence, focus, and clarity. While most people are still asleep, the mind is calmer, distractions are minimal, and intention can replace reaction. This time allows you to invest in yourself before the demands of the day begin. Instead of rushing into emails, obligations, or other people's priorities, you start the day by strengthening your mindset, energy, and direction. Early mornings become a foundation for personal mastery, helping you think clearly, plan intentionally, and act with purpose. The habit of waking up early also builds discipline and self-respect. Each morning becomes a promise you keep to yourself, reinforcing confidence and consistency. Over time, these small daily wins compound into greater focus, resilience, and emotional strength. You begin to feel more in control, not just of your schedule, but of your thoughts and reactions. Most importantly, waking up before the world creates space for growth. Whether it's reflection, learning, exercise, or creative work, this uninterrupted time allows you to develop skills and clarity that are often lost in the noise of modern life. Success, the book suggests, is not found in dramatic breakthroughs, but in quiet, repeated acts of self-leadership. By owning the early hours, you stop living reactively and start leading deliberately. The power of waking up before the world lies in this simple truth. When you win the morning, you set the tone for a more focused, balanced, and purposeful life. Why morning mastery determines success. Morning mastery is not about waking up early for the sake of routine. It is about taking control of the most influential part of the day. The way you begin your morning shapes your mindset, energy, and focus, which then ripple through every decision you make. In Why Morning Mastery Determines Success, the message is clear. Success is not accidental, it is designed in the early hours. When mornings are chaotic and reactive, the rest of the day often follows the same pattern. Stress increases, priorities blur, and attention is scattered. But when mornings are intentional, you create a strong internal foundation before the external world makes its demands. This foundation allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. Morning mastery provides uninterrupted time for the habits that matter most: reflection, learning, movement, and planning. These activities strengthen mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical energy. Over time, this consistent investment in yourself compounds, producing higher performance and better decision-making. Success becomes a natural outcome of preparation, not pressure. Another key idea is identity. How you start your day reinforces who you believe you are. When you consistently honor your morning rituals, you build self-discipline and self-trust. This confidence influences how you approach challenges, manage setbacks, and pursue long-term goals. High achievers succeed not because they are more talented, but because they protect the routines that keep them focused and resilient. Ultimately, morning mastery determines success because it puts you in the driver's seat of your life. By winning the first hours of the day, you gain clarity, momentum, and control. And with that control comes the ability to shape your work, your mindset, and your future with intention and purpose. The 5 a.m. mindset: discipline before motivation. The 5 a.m. mindset is built on a powerful truth. Discipline creates motivation, not the other way around. In the 5 a.m. mindset, discipline before motivation, success is framed as the result of consistent action, especially when comfort and excuses are strongest. Waking up early is not about feeling inspired. It is about honoring a commitment to yourself, regardless of mood. Most people wait for motivation before they act, but motivation is unreliable and temporary. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches that discipline is what carries you forward when motivation fades. By choosing to wake up early and follow a structured morning routine, you train your mind to act with intention rather than emotion. Over time, this builds mental toughness and self-respect. Early mornings become a proving ground for character. Each disciplined choice reinforces the belief that you can do hard things even when no one is watching. This confidence spills into every area of life: work, relationships, and personal growth. The discipline practiced at 5 a.m. strengthens focus, reduces procrastination, and increases resilience. Another key lesson is that consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need dramatic effort or perfect mornings. What matters is showing up daily and doing the small, meaningful actions that compound into excellence. Discipline transforms routines into rituals and rituals into identity. Ultimately, the 5 a.m. mindset is about freedom. When you master discipline, you are no longer controlled by distractions, moods, or external pressure. Motivation then becomes a natural byproduct of progress, not a prerequisite. By choosing discipline first, you unlock clarity, confidence, and long-term success, one early morning at a time. Designing a morning that shapes your destiny. In designing a morning that shapes your destiny, the core idea is that destiny is not formed by luck or sudden breakthroughs, but by intentional routines practiced every single day. The way you structure your morning determines how you think, act, and ultimately who you become. A well-designed morning is proactive, not reactive. Instead of starting the day with notifications, stress, or urgency, you begin with clarity and purpose. This intentional start allows you to align your actions with your values and long-term goals before the outside world demands your attention. Over time, this alignment compounds into meaningful progress. The chapter emphasizes that mornings should nourish the mind, body, and spirit. Reflection sharpens awareness, Movement builds energy, and learning expands perspective. Even short periods dedicated to these practices can dramatically improve focus, emotional balance, and creativity. What matters is not the length of the routine, but its consistency. Another key lesson is ownership. When you design your morning, you take responsibility for your growth instead of leaving it to chance. This sense of control builds confidence and resilience. You stop drifting through your days and start moving with intention, guided by habits that support your highest potential. Ultimately, a designed morning becomes a blueprint for your life. Small choices made early each day quietly shape your future. By honoring your mornings, you invest in the person you are becoming. And as these deliberate rituals accumulate, they shape your destiny, not through force, but through focused, disciplined self-mastery. Focus, energy, and clarity in the early hours. The early hours of the morning offer a rare advantage, a mind that is quiet, focused, and free from distraction. In Focus, Energy, and Clarity in the Early Hours, the central message is that the quality of your thinking is highest before the world begins to compete for your attention. This is when your mental and emotional resources are at their strongest. During these early moments, focus comes naturally. Without constant notifications, conversations, or obligations, the brain can concentrate deeply on meaningful work. This allows you to make better decisions, solve problems more creatively, and engage fully with what matters most. Instead of scattering your attention, you channel it with intention. Energy is also at its peak when mornings are used wisely. Gentle movement, breathing, or exercise activates the body and increases circulation, creating sustained vitality throughout the day. Rather than relying on stress or urgency for momentum, you generate energy from purposeful action. This steady energy supports endurance, productivity, and emotional balance. Clarity is the final and most powerful benefit of the early hours. Reflection and quiet thinking help you understand your priorities, emotions, and direction. You gain perspective before pressure arrives, making it easier to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. This clarity guides your actions long after the morning ends. The chapter emphasizes that success is not about doing more, but about doing the right things with presence and focus. By protecting the early hours, you create a daily space where focus sharpens, energy renews, and clarity leads the way. These benefits compound over time, shaping a life of intentional action, balance, and sustained excellence. Winning the day before 8 a.m. is about creating momentum before the world begins to demand your time and attention. In Winning the Day Before 8 a.m., the idea is simple yet powerful. When you invest in yourself early, the rest of the day unfolds with greater focus, confidence, and control. The early hours allow you to complete your most important personal priorities before work, responsibilities, and distractions take over. By exercising, learning, reflecting, or planning early, you secure daily progress regardless of how busy or unpredictable the day becomes. This creates a sense of achievement that carries forward into every task. Completing meaningful actions early also strengthens discipline and self-belief. When you know you have already honored your commitments to growth, stress decreases and motivation increases. You are no longer chasing productivity, you are leading it. This inner win shifts your mindset from survival to strategy. The chapter also highlights the compounding effect of small victories. 30 to 60 minutes of focused effort each morning may seem insignificant in isolation, but repeated daily, it transforms skills, health, and confidence. Success becomes the natural result of preparation rather than pressure. Winning before 8 a.m. doesn't require perfection or intensity. It requires consistency. Even modest routines, when protected and repeated, build clarity and resilience over time. You start the day calm instead of rushed, proactive instead of reactive. Ultimately, winning the day before 8 a.m. means taking ownership of your life early so the rest of the day works in your favor. By starting strong, you set a powerful tone, one of purpose, progress, and self-mastery that guides every hour that follows.
The science behind early rising and peak performance. Early rising is not just a motivational habit, it is grounded in science. In The Science Behind Early Rising and Peak Performance, the focus is on how aligning your routine with your body's natural rhythms can significantly enhance mental clarity, energy, and performance. Human biology operates on circadian rhythms, internal clocks that regulate sleep, focus, and hormone release. Waking up early, when done consistently, helps synchronize these rhythms. In the morning, cortisol and alertness naturally rise, preparing the brain for focus and problem solving. By using this window intentionally, you access higher levels of concentration and mental sharpness. The chapter also highlights how early mornings support deep work. With fewer distractions and reduced cognitive load, the brain can operate in a state of flow. This leads to better learning, improved memory retention, and more creative thinking. High performers across fields often rely on early hours to produce their most important work. Physical performance benefits as well. Light exercise in the morning increases blood flow, boosts mood through endorphin release, and stabilizes energy throughout the day. Rather than experiencing sharp peaks and crashes, early risers often enjoy sustained vitality and emotional balance. Another key point is sleep quality. When early rising is paired with earlier bedtimes, sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. This consistency improves decision-making, emotional regulation, and stress resilience, all critical elements of peak performance. Ultimately, the science shows that excellence is not about pushing harder, but about working smarter with your biology. Early rising, practiced correctly, creates the conditions for sustained focus, energy, and high performance. By respecting your natural rhythms, you unlock a powerful advantage that elevates both productivity and well-being.
Turning silence into strength and creativity. Silence is not emptiness, it is a source of power. In turning silence into strength and creativity, the focus is on how quiet moments, especially in the early hours of the day, allow the mind to recover, refocus, and create at its highest level. In a world dominated by constant noise, notifications, and information overload, silence becomes a competitive advantage. When external distractions fade, internal clarity emerges. The mind gains space to process thoughts, emotions, and ideas without interruption. This stillness strengthens self-awareness and emotional balance, making it easier to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Silence also fuels creativity. Without pressure or urgency, ideas can form naturally and connect more deeply. Many breakthroughs are born in quiet moments where the mind is free to wander, reflect, and imagine. The chapter emphasizes that creativity is not forced, it is invited through calm and openness. Strength in this context is built through presence. Spending time in silence develops patience, focus, and mental resilience. You learn to sit with discomfort, uncertainty, and complexity without escaping into noise or distraction. This inner strength carries into daily challenges, improving confidence and decision-making. Early morning silence is especially powerful because the mind is rested and receptive. Whether used for reflection, journaling,
meditation, or creative work, this quiet time becomes a sanctuary for growth. Even a few minutes of intentional silence can reset the nervous system and sharpen clarity. Ultimately, turning silence into strength and creativity is about reclaiming your inner world. By honoring quiet moments, you create space for insight, originality, and calm confidence. Over time, this practice transforms silence into a source of clarity, creativity, and personal mastery.
Building consistency through daily rituals. Consistency is the true foundation of success, and it is built through daily rituals. In building consistency through daily rituals, the focus is on how small, intentional actions, repeated every day, create lasting discipline, confidence, and progress. Unlike goals, which focus on outcomes, rituals focus on process. A ritual removes the need for decision-making by turning positive behaviors into automatic habits. When actions become predictable and intentional, resistance decreases and follow-through improves. This is how consistency becomes sustainable rather than forced. Daily rituals also shape identity. Each time you honor a ritual, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who shows up, stays committed, and follows through. This self-trust compounds over time, strengthening confidence and resilience. You stop relying on motivation and begin relying on structure. The chapter emphasizes simplicity. Effective rituals don't need to be long or complex. Even a few minutes of focused effort, reading, movement, reflection, or planning can create meaningful progress when practiced daily. What matters most is regularity, not intensity. Rituals also provide stability in uncertain or stressful times. When life feels chaotic, rituals offer a sense of control and grounding. They anchor your day, reduce overwhelm, and create mental clarity. This stability allows you to perform consistently, even when conditions are not ideal. Ultimately, building consistency through daily rituals is about creating systems that support your best self. Small actions, done with intention, accumulate into powerful results. Over time, these rituals transform effort into excellence and discipline into freedom, proving that success is not built in moments of inspiration, but in the quiet reliability of daily practice. Owning your morning to elevate your entire life. Owning your morning is about taking control of your life at its most influential point. In owning your morning to elevate your entire life, the central idea is that the habits you practice in the early hours quietly shape your mindset, behavior, and future. When you lead your morning with intention, you begin leading your life with purpose. The morning sets the emotional and mental tone for the entire day. Instead of starting in reaction, checking messages, rushing, or responding to stress, you choose clarity, focus, and direction. This proactive start strengthens decision-making and reduces overwhelm, allowing you to move through the day with calm confidence. By owning your morning, you create space for the practices that support growth, reflection, movement, learning, and planning. These actions build energy, sharpen focus, and reinforce self-discipline. Over time, they compound into improved performance, stronger relationships, and greater emotional balance. The chapter also highlights the connection between mornings and identity. Each intentional morning reinforces the belief that you are in control of your time and your choices. This self-trust increases resilience and consistency, making it easier to pursue long-term goals without burnout. Owning your morning is not about perfection or extreme routines. It is about consistency and commitment. Even small, well-designed habits can produce powerful results when practiced daily. The quiet victories of the morning become the foundation for larger successes later in life. Ultimately, when you own your morning, you elevate every area of your life. You stop reacting to circumstances and start creating them. By mastering the first hours of the day, you build clarity, momentum, and purpose, one intentional morning at a time.
Listening to the 5 a.m. Club is more than absorbing ideas. It's experiencing a shift in how you see time, discipline, and your own potential. This book gently but powerfully reminds us that transformation doesn't come from dramatic changes, but from small, intentional actions practiced every morning. Through its lessons, we learn that waking up early is not about forcing productivity, but about creating space to think clearly, move intentionally, and grow quietly before the world demands our attention. The early hours become a sanctuary where focus sharpens, energy renews, and clarity guides our decisions. Over time, these moments compound, shaping not just better days, but a better life. The book emphasizes that success is built through discipline before motivation, consistency over intensity, and rituals over random effort. By mastering our mornings, we stop living reactively and begin living deliberately. We gain confidence by keeping promises to ourselves, resilience by showing up daily, and purpose by aligning our actions with our values. Most importantly, the 5 a.m. Club teaches that owning your morning means owning your life. When you lead the first hours of your day, you elevate your mindset, your work, your relationships, and your sense of self. The real reward is not waking up early. It's becoming the kind of person who leads their life with intention and courage. And if this journey of growth, reflection, and wisdom resonates with you, Wiser Reads is your home. Join our channel and let these ideas walk with you beyond this video, because the best investment you'll ever make is in the person you are becoming. Subscribe, stay curious, and keep choosing progress, one morning at a time.